Hello, welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at some gameplay that got sent to me with a Dragapult in the Open Great League. This Pokemon is actually something that I also want to take a look at myself, and so luckily don't have to do it now, because we have some very interesting gameplay here with also a team I'm quite excited about. I'm very certain that Dugong is one of the best current Pokemon to run for the current meta, because you're going to have access to the Ice typing, which is going to help you out against Clodsire. You're going to have quite a lot of neutral play against a lot of other Pokemon like Azumarill, like Feraligatr, and so I'm fairly certain that Dugong is one of the Pokemon that can carry this team here for sure. But also in the back we're going to have a Bummersnow, which is also one of the best core breaker in the current meta, breaking basically all those Mudslap users, which is really important, and so I'm quite excited for this gameplay here. We're going to see the matchup of a Dragapult against the opponent's Talonflame. Fly is coming through. We are going to be able to take that hit and we can go for the full farm down, which is going to allow us as well here to get up to a Shadow Ball, which is going to hit that Alolan Sandslash for some nice and neutral damage. Going to put them into double Astonish range, and as you guys see already, that Dragapult is slaying here right now, literally destroying the entire team, and Shadow Ball is even enough to knock out that Gastrodon. So, next opponent, we're going to have the Clodsire and Elite, which is actually a fairly decent matchup for you, but you have also two Ice-type Pokemon in the back. Why it's a decent matchup for you? Actually, you're going to be able to resist the Poison typing with Elite, so that's kind of something that is definitely quite nice for you. What is not so nice is going to be the Gastrodon matchup here right now, because as you're going to see here, Gastrodon is a bit too bulky for you, but they decided to go straight for the Body Slam, which you should be able to survive. I'm fairly certain you can still go for another Icy Wind here as well in time, which is going to be great, because now you are going to be able to get a ton of energy here on that Bummers. Okay, never mind. We're gonna get a ton of energy on that Dragapult here, which also works out. The Body Slam is coming through, going to do a double resisted damage, but also double debuff damage, so basically nothing. And they swap out into their final Pokemon being the Jumpluff, and this is the thing about a Bummersnow. This Pokemon is a perfect core breaker in the current meta, and the opponent had already enough at this point. Alolan Sandslash is definitely a core breaker for this team though. You have to be a bit careful, especially as they're running the Ice type fast move here. You're gonna be able to catch a move. Maybe it's going to be the Ice Punch that's for now here. It is the Drill Run, which is gonna do some neutral damage, and they're gonna have again another Gastrodon in the back, but this can be actually quite good for you. Why is it maybe quite good for you? You're going to be able to get the debuff onto them, but not only this, you're also going to be able to now let the move go through very likely. But maybe at an... Oh, actually gonna see a shield. Okay, did not expect this at all. Yeah, I would have just let the move go through. I think you would have been still able to survive it. And then you would have been able to fully farm them down with your Bummersnow in the back. But I guess you gotta let this move go through and now gonna go for the full farm down. This should also work out quite well for you. But if you're gonna... Oh, you're gonna full farm down with the Dragapult here. That's not something I expected, but I guess something that works out as well. Why I thought it would be a bit better here for the Bummersnow is just that you would get a bit more energy, and you are gonna be in a position where one energy ball is most likely enough. You very likely want to let the move go through. As the opponent got a debuff here from the Breaking Swipe, Ice Punch is going to be fine for you. And you can go for the energy ball, which I feel like might be even enough to knock them out already. And it is, and so now it's down to the final Pokemon being the normal Marowak here, and the opponent decides to forfeit the battle. Nothing they can do, and we can move on to the next opponent. Well, let's find out what they're going to have here. We're going to have the Drifblim, and Drifblim is going to be one of the Pokemon where you do super effective damage, but they also do super effective damage back, and so I feel like this was a bit of a silly play to stay in here, because you have two Ice-type Pokemon in the back, so like you didn't have to stay in that matchup. Now you're going to be in a position where the opponent is going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball, do quite a lot of damage against you, and at least they're going to swap out into the Clodsire, which is a very solid matchup for you, especially after the debuff now. You're actually still not going to be able to survive the Stone Edge, so that's going to be a bit of an awkward one, and that's also why you decide to use a shield here. Stone Edge would be for sure enough to knock them out, and also this charge move and the debuff here is not going to help them in this kind of regard, because storage still should be enough, but you can go for the full farm down, which will allow you to realign yourself, which is quite important here as well. As you can see, the Bummersnow is the final Pokemon for the opponent. Icy Wind is going to get the shield from them, which is quite nice, and you can let the move go through against your Dugong. They have to go for the energy ball in order to knock you out. A weather ball should not be enough, or an Icy Wind, and so you can even go for another charge move, get the opponent even lower, and you could decide to swap out of here, but you decide decide to stay in instead, which is also actually a very solid move, because now you are going to be able to go for your own Abomasnow. You can let one move go through if you want to as well. There is no reason not to. Ice Wind is coming through, and you can go for your own Weather Wall and win, or the opponent just decides to forfeit. Next opponent, we're going to have a very neutral lead. I don't know where you swapped out straight away. I honestly don't really agree with this play at all. You have an Astonish user that's going to be able to resist the opponent's fast move. You can at least go for 5 Astonish, do a ton of damage, get a ton of energy on your lead, which is quite squishy, but does quite a lot of damage against most of the opponent's Pokemon, and then you're still going to be in a very solid spot. So I don't really know, like for me that was not really a smart play to swap out straight away, but again, like I would have mostly went for 5 fast moves and then swapped out into my Dewgong. I think this makes a bit more sense here in my opinion, but maybe it's still going to be fine here. We're going to see the charge move coming through. This is going to be able to get the knockout, and so you can align yourself, which is going to be great because they have that Drifblim here in the back lurking. You kind of want to go into your Abomasnow for sure, doing super effective damage while still being forced to use a shield here against the opponent. As a Shadow Ball would most likely do quite some decent damage. The opponent still is running that buffed Astonish doing quite a lot of damage in the current meta. Weather Wall is gonna come through here as well, again getting the shield from the opponent, and you decide to use another shield as well here for Mystical Fire actually, which is quite ridiculous. And they have a Golurk in the back, which you are going to be able to go for the Breaking Swipe against before the opponent can go for any charge move, which might allow you to still have a chance here at least, as this is going to be a CMP type. The opponent cannot really get a ton of energy because you would be able to fully farm them down beforehand, and so you can go for the full farm down here with the Abomasnow, get a ton of energy, knock out that opponent's Drifblim, and win the battle with the Shadow Abomasnow. Moving on to the next opponent, we're going to have Dragapult against Azumarill. Again, I would recommend you to actually stay in for a bit, and this time around they actually do, so that's kinda great. Yeah, you can just swap out after 5, then you would be able to either catch like no move of course, or catch an Ice Beam. Ice Beam would be a bit better to catch on the Dewgong, so yeah, for me I would go for 5 fast moves here and then go for the Dewgong catch here. Okay, you will have been able to fully farm down the opponent. Also, what is the Lickitung doing here? Lickitung, man, it is not your meta anymore. Your meta is quite gone forever, most likely, but yeah. Licky is just way better than Lickitung, that's like the thing. Licky has a way better fast move, which is all that really matters for it. Charge move itself, I guess like Power Whip is really good in the current meta. Like a lot of Pokemon are really weak to it, but it doesn't really, allow you to have Lickitung as a better Pokemon than Licky, for sure not. And as you're gonna see here, you are going to be able to catch the move onto the Abomasnow. That's going to be an interesting one, as the Body Slam is going to come through. We're gonna see the Gligar in the back. The opponent definitely did not know that this season is going to be a different one, and that basically all the Pokemon that they were running are top meta Pokemon from last season, but completely not usable anymore this season. So that's quite an interesting one for sure here. And you can go for even, you're gonna go for the Icy Wind here with your Dewgong, but you're still gonna be in a very, very solid position. As the shield is coming up here, you're gonna go for the shield here most likely as well. You are not. Aerial Ace is going to be able to get here very low. You're gonna use the shield against the Azumarill, so I guess that was actually the right call. Good call there by you. And let's see what is going to be coming in next. It's going to be again that Gligar. And the final Pokemon again, of course, was already the Lickitung here, where it does not make any sense at all to go for Shadow Ball unless you want to BM the opponent. Next opponent, we're going to encounter a lead that's quite neutral, but also not that good for you. It's going to be the Malamar against you. Malamar is going to be one of those Pokemon that is going to have super effective coverage against you in the move Foul Play, which they can get to at the same pacing as you can get to a Breaking Swipe. So you could even decide to try to catch a move here soon, but actually you are going to be able to get to this move a bit earlier. Means they still need one more fast move of your own to get to their own charge move, and you swap out. And this is quite risky here for this team, because of course the opponent has access to the move Superpower, and with this it's going to be quite a tough uphill battle to win this one. Let's see how this is going to go. You're going to be able to go ahead and go for that Drill Run. This is a very, very long matchup here, generally speaking, of Azumarill against Dewgong. And so, as you're gonna see, the player is coming through, going to do some decent damage. He can go for the Drill Run, and it's kind of back and forth here the entire time. You would speed them, generally speaking. You need only like 5 for the first Drill Run and 4 for the second Drill Run, while the opponent always kind of needs 6 and 5, I think. So yeah, you kind of outspeed them for a bit. But as you're gonna see here as well, the opponent should be most likely able to outspeed you for the next one. And so they are going to be able to win this matchup as an Azumarill, but they have to go for a charge move, which they don't. And that is a big problem for them, as now you're gonna be able to go for that Icy Wind, which I like as a play, and knock out the opponent, as you can swap out into your Shadow variant of the Abomasnow to take that superpower. They have in the back the Venusaur, and so you can still reach another charge move. This is going to be ginormous, because now hopefully the Dragapult is going to be able to either fully farm them down or get the knockout. Let's see how this is going to go here. You're going to see the Dragapult is coming back in, is going to be able to go for the full farm down, and now it's just going to be going down against that Malamar, and we can move on to the next opponent. Next Azumarill, and again I would recommend you to stay in for 5 fast moves and then swap out. I think that is going to be the ideal way of playing this one. They stay in for a bit too long, taking the risk of getting hit by an Ice Beam, which you of course have to shield up. And like basically if you just generate some energy with the Astonish and then swap out, I feel like this is going to be the better play for you to go for. But anyway, Shadow Ball's coming through. You're gonna see the swap out now onto the charge move into the Dugong, which I like. That is definitely a great play. And now the Dugong is gonna be in a spot where they don't really want to be, as yeah, that Machamp is going to hit quite hard. Yeah, we're definitely going to be able to do a ton of damage here. Cross Chop is coming through. Not going to take the knockout though, which is going to be lovely for you because you can get the debuff. This is going to allow you to even get them low enough that you might be able to go for the full farm down, but I think they can still get to a charge move in time. So I think this is a correct call of going for the shield. It is going to be a Stone Edge, and now you have the option to hopefully get a ton of debuffs onto the final Pokemon. It's going to be a Skuntank here, which is very, very tricky for you to deal with because it kind of breaks both of the Pokemon that you have left. You're going to get the first attack drop, which is very important. Now you have to try to catch a crunch on your final Pokemon. As they let the move go through, this is not a crunch yet for sure. This was a bit too early for them, and now it is going to be quite a tricky one here as the Trailbase is coming through. You're going to see the full farm down here, and that's going to work out super well, and the opponent decides to forfeit. Second to last battle, we're going to have the Quillfish in the lead, a Pokemon that I actually kind of want to take a look at again. Like, the normal Quillfish, I feel like has a ton of potential in the current meta. Very good Seizup, like literally has next to no weaknesses. And also even, I don't know, Skarmory I feel like still has some potential as well, but that's going to be something for later. And yeah, the opponent has nothing to do here really in this battle. Final one, again, staying in here for 5 fast moves would be, in my opinion, the ideal play. They decide to stay in for a bit longer. At least here they're going to be able to go for the Shadow Ball before getting hit, which maybe allows you to swap out afterwards now into the Dugong just to catch a move, which does work out super well for you. And so that is going to be great, as this Ice Beam is going to connect now, doing basically no damage, and we're going to get out the opponent's Dunsparce. And that is an interesting one here, as Dunsparce is going to go ahead and go for the Rock Slide, but not before they get debuffed here. Debuff is going to definitely help you out quite a bit, but I still think it's a very tough matchup for you to win with, as now the Dugong is going to go up against one of the most difficult Pokemon for itself, as the opponent is going to be able to take quite a lot of hits and you barely do anything against them. And so as you're going to see here, we're going to see the swap out from this player into that Dragapult just to get aligned against the Manolas, which is like kind of a bit of an awkward thing for this Pokemon for sure. But let's see how this is going to go here. We're going to see the Breaking Slide coming through, or maybe trying to get the debuff. That would definitely help you out quite a bit, and you're gonna get the debuff, which is really important. You're gonna let those Pokemon go down, which I feel like is the right call, and now you can go for the full farm down with, I guess, your Abomasnow. You're gonna let the move go through. It should not knock you out, I think. It does not, and so you have basically an Abomasnow and 2 shields left. Dunsparce is coming in. You're kinda in a very tough spot here. As a Rock Slide, it's gonna get no shield. I feel like a shield would have been okay, but it's not really an ideal scenario for sure. So you might have to use your last Pokemon there as a potential catch opportunity there. But let's see if you're gonna still be able to win the final battle. We are gonna see the Weather Ball is not coming through. You're gonna go for the full farm down. In the back, the Azumarill is still lurking there. Should have went for the charge move a bit earlier, but it's what it is. First move coming through, gonna get the shield, and the opponent is going to be able to take the knockout here, which I feel like maybe was avoidable if you were a bit faster in terms of going for the charge move. But it is what it is, and this can be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.